What's up, America? Neil here.
And Kim.
From Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to be doing a pretty cool flashlight review on a pretty cool flashlight, which is the
Powertac.
And it's called the E9. So let's get started.
This flashlight could be used for a lot of things, of course, but it's very good for a defensive light. You can tell right off the bat that it has a crown bezel.
So before we get too far in here, because I carried this extensively, in fact, this is the second one, believe it or not.
You lost one.
Kim lost it, and I couldn't find it. But nonetheless, I carried a lot. The crown bezel is extremely sharp, extremely sharp. Great for self-defense. I haven't seen their site yet if they have an option, but this is too much for carrying, to be honest with you. It digs into your pocket. It's going to wear your clothes out really fast. But, you know, it's kind of a balance. I mean, it is the most aggressive crown bezel I've ever seen, and if I had to use it for self-defense, no question this would be the go-to flashlight for that. But you got to have some kind of a balance. So I'll probably grind that down a little bit with a grinder just so it's a little bit more manageable. Anyway, so not to take the show away, keep going.
All right. So it also is made out of aircraft aluminum.
Some type of aluminum. I don't know. Probably is aircraft. It's just it's a very strong aluminum, which we always look for in a flashlight, so that we can use it as a blunt striking object, as a force multiplier, something that that we can use in a defensive situation.
It has a tailcap switch, which is very important, so it's easy to push on. You're not trying to find some little button when your hands are wet or you're under stress or something like that.
And let me focus on that for a second, because it's a big deal. I'm going to take out my, I won't mention the name of this one. It's been used and abused, as all gear should be. This has been my go-to brand of flashlight forever. And the one thing that's different, even if I use my hand, if this is a flat surface, if I press down on it, the light will not come on, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is, depending on your shooting style, if you were to ever implement this as a shooting light, for me, the method that I prefer, I mean, I can use many of them, but the one I prefer is the syringe or the cigar method, where you're holding the light here and I'm pressing. It's basically impossible to do with this type. Now, with the Powertac, the light, even though it's not a flat surface, put your hand on top just so they can see. Press down, as you can see, the light, will come on. Okay, so on a flat surface, that end cap there will not prevent the light going off. So what you can do, just like another brand that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, it is way more expensive. You can just turn this a couple times, and then it can't be going. So if you put this in a bag or something, you don't have to worry about it. But once you're back, it's really easy. And so that way, if you were going to deploy this in type of a defensive light on a weapon or something, this light comes on super easy. Okay, so I like that. I really do. That's one of the benefits of that.
Another feature is we like the momentary on, momentary off, because that's really important. You don't want a flashlight that just stays on all the time, because it might give away where you are and other things.
Totally. Let me jump on this one again. This is not perfect for me. Perfect would mean that there's some way, either you turn it or you change the mode somehow, where I can press this as hard as I want and it will release when I release. This is like many flashlights where if I partially touch it, it'll come on, and when I release it, it goes off, and that's great. But I mean, if it were possible, especially since they may be able to sell a different tail cap, that'd be kind of cool. The one thing also you'll notice here is there's a little gray button here, okay? I'm not a big fan of buttons on the sides of flashlights, but this has nothing to do with the actual actuation of the light. What this does is this is the immediate strobe, if you will. So for this one, if I simply hold this light, and I know it's going to mess the camera all up, but if I simply hold that button down, you'll see strobe will come on. So it's always quick. It's not ever going to be as fast under stress as hitting that big button, because anywhere in the back it'll go and you're going to try to find this button, but it could be useful.
Yes.
People know from my videos, I hate strobe. I hate it. It makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I've used tons of low light and no light situations. It's like shooting in a fun house. I don't get it. Okay, yes, it's disorienting, but it's also disorienting for the person. I just don't like strobe. But if you do, that's kind of a cool feature. This is also what's going to allow you to change the settings that we'll get to in a minute.
Another feature you're going to notice right away is it's very knurled. It's like really grippy, so it's easy to hold on to.
Yeah, but most importantly, it's knurled from the very top whichever one you want to call top, to the very bottom. So the whole thing, it has the most coverage I've seen in most flashlights. The other big name brands that you guys will know, they usually put it here where your hand is, but this is all over, and it does really, no matter where I end up grabbing this light, I do get a really firm hold on it. Even if I wasn't in some type of defensive situation, I didn't pull it out perfectly, I still feel very, very confident with that.
Before we get into the specs, it's really important for lighting. We always look for something that's 300 lumens or brighter. And the reason for that is that even if it's daytime, if I shine 300 lumens in your eyes, it's going to disorient you.
Try it. Try it. Go home, go in your bathroom, let your eyes adjust, or go at night and flash a flashlight in your face. Okay. No, you don't have eye cancer. It'll go away eventually. But you just every time you blink, you see this great big bulb. This one, though, and we'll talk about specs, is way more than 300. We're talking over 1,000 lumens in its brightest setting, and with strobe as well. So we'll get into that later. But definitely meets the bill for that.
It also comes with a pocket clip. It can either go up here or down here, whichever you prefer.
I'm digging it out of my package because people do unboxings, which I never understood. It's a box. I'm going to take things out. Anyway, so you'll see where I typically use this flashlight, and it has its own little holster, which, by the way, it came with. I'm going to show you in a minute because that's on the duty belt, and we'll get into that later. So I don't use the pocket clip plus, as I said, in the pocket until I fix that bezel. Not so great. But you can just clip it on, either on the back end so it fits lens down. You can turn it around and put it up so it does bezel up. Just like I said, be careful when that thing is sticking up. It is nasty sharp. So you can adjust it any way you want or take it completely off. Depends however you want to do it. As you can see here on the screen, this is one tough flashlight. That's one thing I can say. Basically, as you can see here, what we did is we took this and I froze it overnight. So I have this block of ice. We drop it on the ground. I use a hammer to literally pound it out of the frozen ice. And then we can see if the light comes on. And of course it does. So if you can take a flashlight and freeze it overnight, pound it out with a hammer, and it still works, I would say that passes the durability test. No questions there.
Now let's look at the specs. It has 4 settings, not including strobe. The first one is 1 lumens and it'll last 305 hours. The second is 280 lumens. It'll last 5.5 hours. The third, 635 lumens and it'll last 2.4 hours. And the last one is 1,020 lumens and it lasts for 2.2 hours. Strobe is the same as the highest power, 1020, and it'll last 4.4 hours. For the batteries, you can use 2 CR123A batteries or 2 CR123A rechargeable batteries or 1 18650 battery.
Now, let me talk about one of the things that I really like about this deal here. On my belt here, you guys will be able to see there's the light holster. And what's cool about this guy is it came with a flashlight. So you, if it doesn't come with your model, you can definitely order one. But what's nice about it is that it's all one-piece plastic, and it just clips on a belt. This obviously goes all the way up to my 2-inch duty belt, but that'll go to any belt that's a little smaller. You might have a little play with it, but it's not like it's a gun where it matters if it plays a little bit. You know, for something that comes with a flashlight, I think it's great. The light fits in there very firmly, and again, that's why I don't carry the clip on there, because I only use this for this particular setup. So really like that feature. Here we took this is mounted on the Saint, and by the way, next time you see this gun, in case you guys are interested, we're going to take the hollow sound off this and we're going to run a variable power Strike Eagle from Optics Planet. Kind of the new thing, and not new, but it's definitely the growing segment for rifles now, because it gives you way more capability. Anyway, going back to here, we also did some testing, actually with the Holosun, with this light on there, along with side testing. So we've got about 500-600 rounds through the AR with the light on there, and it's running like a champ, yeah?
That's right.
If I can make any complaint, as you can see on the bracket, there's a gap there that I wish, since it comes from Powertac, it even has Powertac's logo on there, and I realize it's probably, you know, a fairly generic mount that a lot of people make, and they're just putting a name on there. But I would like it to have been a little bit better fit, I think. A little bit more closure on there, but not the end of the world. Still good light. Now, here's the other cool part. With the kit that you can get, this is the weapons package kit. So when you get the special box for unboxing, you're going to get the little pressure pad. And what's cool about this is, if you were going to, depending on how you run your gun, so flip it, let's go this way so they can see a little bit better. Perfect. So if you want to unscrew the tail cap on there, you can replace it with the pressure pad type, and you've got your settings right here that you can adjust how you want the light to come on. But you can screw that on, and then you can place this guy anywhere you want. So if you want to have a vertical grip or something, depending on your style. The best way, honestly, to mount the light, which I'll probably do, is to mount this actually underneath, as close to the front of the barrel as possible, in my opinion, because that way when you're actually using the gun, if you have to come around any type of cover or barriers, you're going to be in line with the barrel. Okay, so the way it's set up now, which is very common, because the way you set up now, I don't need to do anything except put my thumb over here when I'm holding the gun. It puts the button right where my thumb is, and it's great. But if I had a barrier and I was just trying to get over cover, I'm going to have to either come out more or tilt the rifle more, where if I keep it vertical, I can stay closer. That's for another time. But nonetheless, it comes with that, so that's really cool. When you start looking at the price points of what they're offering, this 1,000 lumen plus flashlight that is built extremely well with an entire kit, it's pretty awesome.
It also comes with this really amazing, awesome manual.
It had pictures in there, so it worked for me. So I'm going to have the links down below for you guys if you want to check them out. One of the lights that I'm really hoping to get my hands on, it really looks very good to me. It's called the Warrior, so check that one out. Obviously I haven't tested or anything, but the Warrior is the one with it has a ring on it. And as I said, for me, one of my favorite to hold a light with a pistol, if it's not mounted on there, is to use the syringe or cigar method. So it has a ring on there, which I've liked by many other companies, and that one looks really promising. So that would be somewhere in the works, I hope. Nonetheless, if you have any questions, I'm going to put the links down. You can check out their website. Good people. Like I said, that's my second one because I lost the first one, so it's been thoroughly tested and definitely gets my stamp of approval. It's the only, I can say honestly right now, next to my go-to brand, which is one of the two big names that you guys all know, starts with S. Of course, they both start with S. Anyway, this would be the only light that I would take instead of that, or in lieu of that, or with that. Other than that, any other manufacturer so far, not so much. So, my stamp of approval. All right, where can they find us, Kim?
So you can find us, of course, here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and also push that little bell, because somehow when you subscribe now, it doesn't mean you're always going to get every video.
Well, it does, just not gun channels.
Yeah, just not.
I'm kidding.
And also you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, and of course we put all of our premium content on Patreon. Until next time, remember it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.